Triceratops, 3 horns, giant frill. Every museum has one. You think you know it? You don't. That frill wasn't armor. Too thin, too fragile. One good bite and it shatters. Scientists now think it was a display structure. Flushed with blood, possibly color shifting, used to attract mates or intimidate rivals. A biological billboard stapled to its face, and those horns weren't just for predators. Fossil evidence shows healed puncture wounds on Triceratops frills that match Triceratops horn tips exactly. They were fighting each other, locking horns, shoving, bleeding. Over territory, over mates, over whatever Cretaceous disputes looked like. Some specimens show frill edges lined with triangular skin projections. Not bone, skin. Which means every painting, every model, every toy is educated guesswork. We've found hundreds of skeletons and still don't know exactly what a living Triceratops looked like. Velociraptor. Jurassic Park made it 6 feet tall, scaly, and terrifying. The real one was the size of a turkey. Feathered, lightweight, around 15 kilograms. Found in the Gobi Desert. Not jungle, not forest. Desert. Dry, hot, barren. Hunting lizards and small mammals, not humans, through kitchen corridors. The most famous Velociraptor fossil ever found tells the real story. A single individual locked in combat with a Protoceratops, an animal roughly its own size. Both preserved mid-fight. Both dead. Not a pack takedown. A personal duel that killed them simultaneously. Current evidence points to solitary hunting, opportunistic, targeting prey close to its own weight. The pack hunting idea came from its larger cousin, Deinonychus. Hollywood merged the two and handed Velociraptor a reputation it never earned. And that sickle claw, not for slashing. Wrong angle, wrong wear patterns, it was a pinning tool. Holding prey down while the jaws did the killing, a grappling hook attached to its foot. Feathered, solitary, desert adapted, with a foot built for pinning things alive. The movie got the terror right and almost everything else wrong. Stegosaurus, 17 bony plates running down its spine. Nobody knows why. Not armor. The plates were filled with blood vessels. Too exposed, too fragile to stop a bite. Leading theory is thermoregulation. A living radiator, pumping blood through the plates to dump or absorb heat. Some researchers think they flushed red when the animal was threatened. Display, warning, attraction. A 5-ton herbivore with a possible mood indicator on its back. The tail is better understood. 4 spikes, each up to 90 centimeters long. Called the thagomizer. A name coined by a cartoonist in 1982 that paleontologists actually adopted. Allosaurus bones have been found with puncture wounds matching those spikes exactly. One specimen has a tail spike that broke off inside an Allosaurus vertebra and fossilized there. The spike is still in the bone, a fight frozen in rock for 150 million years. Brachiosaurus, 26 meters long, 60 tons. Front legs longer than back legs, body angled upward like a ramp, neck reaching 13 meters into the canopy. One of the largest animals ever to walk land. That size created an engineering problem. The heart had to pump blood 13 meters upward to reach the brain. Estimates put the heart weight above 400 kilograms, just to keep the brain alive. And the neck, mostly rigid, not flexible. Bending down to drink was difficult. How it accessed ground-level water is still debated. One more thing. The bony nasal openings in the skull sit high, between the eyes. For decades, scientists assumed the actual nostrils were there too. The snorkel theory, submerging the body and breathing from the top of the head like a submarine. That collapsed twice. Water pressure at that depth would crush the lungs. And in 2001, paleontologist Lawrence Whitmer demonstrated the fleshy nostrils were positioned much further forward, closer to the snout tip, completely separate from the bony opening in the skull. We had the anatomy wrong for over a century. Allosaurus. T-Rex gets the attention. Allosaurus was doing the same job 80 million years earlier. 10 meters long, 2 tons, and a hunting strategy unlike anything before or since. Research published in the journal Paleontologia Electronica describes the Allosaurus hunting method as a hatchet strike. The upper jaw drove downward into prey using neck muscles rather than jaw-closing force. It didn't bite and hold. It opened, struck, and raked. This allowed it to attack prey significantly larger than itself, including sauropods reaching 20 meters in length. Fossilized Allosaurus teeth have been found embedded in Apatosaurus vertebrae. It attacked what should have been unkillable. It was faster than T-Rex and hunted in environments where speed over open terrain mattered. Bone beds containing multiple Allosaurus specimens near single prey sites suggest possible cooperative hunting. Still debated, but the evidence exists. Whether alone or coordinated, it was the dominant predator of the late Jurassic for millions of years. Ankylosaurus, 8 meters of moving fortress. Bone plates grown directly into the skin, not attached over it, fused into it. Called osteoderms. The back, the sides, even the eyelids were armored. Evolution decided the eyes needed bone shields. The tail club was a mass of fused bone, potentially weighing hundreds of kilograms. One strike to the knee of a large predator and the hunt ends. But Ankylosaurus fossils are extraordinarily rare. Paleontologists have found hundreds of T-Rex specimens. Ankylosaurus shows up in only a handful. A T-Rex encountered Triceratops constantly. An Ankylosaurus would have been rare, a dangerous anomaly rather than a regular obstacle. Iguanodon, named in 1825, before the word dinosaur had been invented. One of the first 2 dinosaurs ever formally described by science, identified from teeth alone before a complete skeleton was found. 10 meters long, 3 tons, capable of moving on 2 legs at speed or dropping to all 4 for sustained travel. Its most anatomically distinctive feature was a rigid conical thumb spike on each hand. Not a claw, a spike, pointed and structural, capable of driving into a predator or a rival with full body weight behind it. Early reconstructions placed that spike on its nose like a rhinoceros horn, a correction that took decades. Fossil sites show multiple iguanodon individuals at the same locations across Europe, North America, and North Africa. Herd behavior. Coordinated movement across 3 continents during the early Cretaceous, 126 to 122 million years ago. A 3-ton animal with bone spikes for thumbs, traveling in groups. Whatever hunted it had to account for all of them. Parasaurolophus. That crest. Hollow, curved, extending nearly 2 meters behind the skull. Every diagram shows it. Nobody fully agrees on what it did. Leading theory is sound. Air forced through the hollow chamber produced low-frequency calls. Resonant, carrying over long distances through dense forest. Different crest sizes between individuals likely produced different pitches, a species communicating through the shape of its own skull. Some researchers think the crest also processed scent, air passing through the chamber before reaching the nasal cavity, pre-filtering smell signals, hearing and smelling simultaneously through the same bone structure. Evidence suggests Parasaurolophus was migratory, herds moving hundreds of kilometers seasonally, coordinating through calls generated by a hollow bone fused to their face. One of the most socially complex animals of the Cretaceous. Which of these dinosaurs had a thumb spike that scientists mistook for a nose horn for 60 years? Drop it in the comments. First one's right, get featured next video. See you in the next one.